Hey folks, so today is the day I'm trying to fix this car with the brake light issue. So I went ahead and ordered a part here. I went ahead and picked it up this morning because I couldn't wait for them to deliver it. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it and see what I ordered, and I'll tell you why I ordered it and what I'm going to do with it now. All right, let's try and see how this one is gonna go here. Give me a second. All right. Gonna be safe here. You need to take safety first here. You don't wanna it's a mess. So what I did is I went ahead and ordered the master cylinder and the whole assembly, including the booster here, to see what's going on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it further and then see here. Oh, this is how it looks like, and I did this in particular because I was thinking, like, if one of the problem was either one of these, I'll have the whole assembly to go ahead and use it. And this one looks like it was from a 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLE, and they say like they're all the same. So, and I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try here, and we'll go from there. So let's get started here. All right, so when I went to the dealer, they told me that the level sensor wasn't working well, and that was the problem. So I thought, why should I not just order it? And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the reservoir with the sensor, and then after that I'll go ahead and install it in the car. After installing it in the car, we'll go ahead and go from there. We'll see if that's gonna make a difference, and then I'll tell you what happened later on. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this out. It looks like there's a Torx bit here, and I tried it earlier on the car to make sure that it could come out, and I realized it was like an E8. So that's what I'm gonna be using here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off, make sure that I got everything set up here, then we'll go ahead and finish up here. So it looks like somebody tried to remove it and they rounded the whole thing out. So it's gonna be a little hard here, but let's see. Hey folks, so after 2.5 hours later, I was able to get the part out here. So it's all set and ready to go. So the reason why it took me that long, it looks like whoever was trying to get this part off the car rounded it off. So that's why they sold it, because they couldn't take off the bolt. I think they were trying to use the wrong, one of the wrong nuts, or I'm trying the remover stuff. So but what I'm gonna do now, because it's removed and I know it's a Torque E80 because I'd already tried earlier, I'm gonna see. I have to be very careful, because if I round off mine, then it's gonna be in a big problem. So I'm gonna be a little bit gentle here. I'll try and take that off, and then we'll go from there. So what I'm gonna do is I'll show you here in a second what happens. So with the time, it kind of got worse. So what happened is, you know, before the whole thing, it used to come on and then it will go off, or it will come on after a few minutes of driving. But as we kept on going, a few days after I posted the first video, it got worse. Now, as soon as you turn the car, I'll show you here. As soon as you turn the car, the first thing is gonna show, look, it just comes right on, and then the brake one comes on. So what I did is I went ahead and I checked the brake fluid to make sure it wasn't leaking. So I went through all the wheels. So you see, it keeps on coming. So it pops up as soon as you start the car. Then what happened also, I thought that it may have been a bubble in the brake. So I ended up bleeding the brakes, but that still didn't help. Then I checked and I thought my sensor was a little bit loose and stuff like that. So what I did, I took it to the dealer. They was able to diagnose it, and they told me that one of the sensors, or the level sensor, was the problem. And then I'll show you what happened and how much they quoted me for that. I suspected that, but since I didn't have any diagnostic tool, and these cars are a little bit more complicated, I didn't know whether the parking brake was the issue, whether the master cylinder, I mean not the master cylinder was the problem, or the booster. So I tried the booster test, whereby I go ahead and step on the brake pads to make sure that there's enough vacuum that is being created, and the pedal should get harder as you push on to make sure that there's no leak in the vacuum. So then I realized that yes, the vacuum was holding up, which is good. So I went ahead and I ordered the part, and which just came in. So I'm gonna try and replace that, and then from there we'll see if that's gonna make a difference. All right, so guys, we are now in the front of the car here, and I'm gonna go ahead and access the brake fluid reservoir. First of all, you just remove this cover here, and you're able to access that. And unlike the previous vehicles which had the sensor up here, this one has the sensor down there. And what makes it kind of tricky is the fact that that the bolt where to access is too far down there, and it's at an angle that is not easily accessible. So you make sure you have to have a swivel and an extension. So I'll try and see if I can use this one. And remember, it's the E8. Don't try to force it, because it's one of those ones that are easy to round off. So this one is a little short, so I'm gonna get a little extension, then I'll put it there, and I'll show you where it is. So it's all the way at the bottom of the thing there. So the ball that you're gonna be removing is all the way down here, and you will see it's underneath there. And once I take that, and you don't have enough space, but if you get an extension, to be much easier to get to reach it out there. So give me a second. I'm gonna go ahead and try and remove that here, and then I'll see if I can pull off the sensor, and then go ahead and start the car and see if that makes a difference. But before we do that, you know what you're gonna do. You have to take all the fluid off the reservoir, and that's what I'm gonna do right now here in a second. So using my 20 ml syringe, I'm gonna go ahead and pull some there. And remember, as I said the other day, this thing is very corrosive. So I'm gonna still put a little microfiber cloth there to make sure that it doesn't leak or spill all over my paint. All right, so here we go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure I take all the precaution I can, because I don't want my paint to be messed up. So let me open this one. I'll take all the fluid as much as I possibly can, actually not as much as I can, all of it, to make sure that there's none in there that's going to leak all over once I'm done. So let's do that quickly here. So folks, after a while and fighting with it, I was able to get it out. This is how it looks like, and as you can see, it's not one of the hard ones, I mean one of those ones, tough ones here, so you have to be very, very careful. You don't want to round this off, so that's why it kind of took me a little bit longer to try and get that out. So now that it's out, and I know even despite the fact that I drained all the fluid there, and I had to kind of play around with it, so what I did, I had to get a double joint here, so to try and get it in there and do that. I wanted to remove this pipe here, but I couldn't remove it, so I didn't want to mess around with it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and pull this one here. There's some fluid still left in the reservoir, so I'm going to put a big cloth or microfiber towel there, so that whenever it comes out, it doesn't go all over the car. So hold on a second here, I'm going to try and pull that up here in a second. Then from there, I just had to reroute this sensor wire, so I'm going to go ahead and put that one up there, so when I pull it up, it doesn't make a mess. Again, as usual, so I'm just going to stuff this one down here, so that in case there's any extra fluid, when it comes out, it just gets absorbed there. So there you go. So I'm gonna try and pull that up a little bit harder here, and being a little careful as I pull it up. All right, let's do this. Sure that everything is okay. So just on, you have to kind of wiggle it a little bit. It's a tough one here, so trying to wiggle that here a little bit to see if I can pull it out from the grommets there. There you go. It's coming loose. There you go. You have to be gentle with it. Just don't force it through. Just trying to be a little gentle with that. So it may be a little bit tough here, but trying to pull it there a little bit. Show that. There you go. It's coming. So because it's becoming a little harder here, I'm gonna try and get the ply. So I have a ply by here, so I'm gonna try and see if that can give me a little boost here to trying to get that off the thing. There you go. Just being a little careful here as I'm applying that off, and make a big mess there. So okay, there you go. Okay, just be a little patient with it here. So there you go. Yeah, it takes a minute there because it has a little tabs that kind of get hooked up there a little bit. There you go. Okay, there you go. Okay, there you go. So I just go ahead and put all the fluid there. As you can see, it's out here, so I'm gonna cover that there. Then I'll go ahead and remove the sensor. So there you go. So that's how the sensor looks like. So you have to kind of pull this tab out and then press it, and then you pull it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the other one here quickly. I'm gonna reuse this one here. It looks like they're still okay, so I'm gonna reuse the grommets there. I'm not gonna replace those ones there, so do that. So just quickly here, so that bolt goes through here and goes there. You can see there is some rust here, so I don't know whether that had anything to do with the sensor, but I'm gonna go ahead and just replace the other one quickly, and then we put some fluid and see how it goes. The first thing is, before I put anything back, I have to make sure that they all look the same. And the sensor looks a little different here, so I'm gonna try the sensor first. Make sure that it fits correctly. Okay, and it does fit. So yours may be a little different here. So it does fit. This one, as you can see, this one is across. Oh, sorry. Yep, that's, you see now what my fear was. So I'm gonna clean that one right away here. That's one thing I didn't want to do here. I'm gonna go ahead and get my degreaser and then clean that mess a little bit. Daisy, Divya, go, play with the dog. I'm busy here. I'm busy. Yeah, I'm gonna clean that one right away here with my. I don't want that to ruin my paint and stuff. So, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and work this other one in, and then we'll go from there. So now I'll show you how that one goes in. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit that one there, then push there. So it has this locking tabs here that should be able to lock. So, and to make sure it doesn't do that, so I'm gonna duplicate a little bit with my D40 here. I know, then I'm gonna be flushing the brake, so it's not something's gonna be a big deal. Just to make sure that it's able to go in and nicely and tight. So there you go. Okay, there you go. They are pretty good. So that sits there nice and tight. Okay, so it looks like it's nice and tight there. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and put the sensor back here. There you go, push that one, then I'll tighten that a little bit here. Good. So it looks like it's sitting nice and tight. So what I'm gonna do to make sure that it's still sitting there, I'm gonna go ahead now and try and put the bolt back, and we'll go from there. Okay. Alright folks, so I just go ahead and put it on. So I secured it tight, put in some brake fluid here. And what I did first, I just want to make sure that everything is okay. I put that. So what happened is it took me a little bit longer. I didn't have to record the whole thing. So, but as I showed you, you have to kind of use a swivel. You have to be very, very patient with this. And what happens is, because I didn't want to take this off here, so I didn't have much room to work with. So somehow I had to use back there, get my hand through there, and use this one here as much as I possibly can. It's a little short, so I had to use a little extensions here somehow to kind of get it long enough here to kind of get in there. And as you can see, it's a little tight there as much as you can. So if I took this off, it would be just way easier. So if you have time, just go ahead and take this off here, and then just go ahead and do that. But be very careful. That's all I'll tell you, that this thing is so easy to round out, and you don't want to round the screw there, otherwise it's going to cause you a lot of problems, because that's what I had a problem with that. It took me a while, and I'll show you what happened when I tried to do that. So that is done here. So before I put everything back, I'm going to go ahead and back and turn on the car and see if the light is going to come back on. Give me a second here. All right, so guys, remember as how every time I turned on the car, what happened? So let's try here now and see what's going to happen here. So looks like it doesn't come on right away, so I don't know yet. So I may end up driving this one a little bit to see if it's fixed or if something else is going to come up, but I hope nothing shows up here. So all right, so that is it for now. So the light hasn't come on yet, but time will tell. But as for now, it looks like it's okay. It was just really the level sensor that was a problem, and I was able to borrow that from another car. So, and I'll show you later on how much it cost me. It did cost me a little time, and that's because of the part that I got, which took me longer to take it off. But just to do the job itself took me about 40 minutes and that's because the space is so tight, and that kind of took a little bit a while here. So the car's been on as I've been talking to you guys. It looks okay. So later on I'll bleed the brakes because I did introduce some there. I don't want to reuse the brake fluid there, so I will go ahead and bleed the brakes, make sure that all the fluid is exchanged, and then I will have a new life on this car. Okay, it's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and back there and I'll put on the part. Hello folks, this is W204 here. Today I'm going to do a black fluid flush on my car. As you can see, it's 182,000 miles, 724. So I'm trying to see if I can flush the fluids. I've had this car over 8 years now and I've never done the fluid flush. So hopefully the brake fluid flush will go well because it's kind of turning dark here, and I want to see if we can give it another extension of life to see how everything goes. Okay. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and put the stuff back here. So I did end up taking this off here to try and give me a little leeway to kind of have an extension there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this back the way it was. So it has these tabs here, so make sure it connects back there. It goes right there. So if you see here, it's gonna go ahead and go right in there. It goes right there, and then the other one goes in here. So I'll do that here, and then I'll put everything back. So. And then it has this screw here, but I didn't want to have to take that off, so I'll just slide that through here. There you go. So goes back there. It has a little screw there that's supposed to, so that is held in place. Then just for the final time here, I'm gonna use my degreaser here to make sure that I spray everything out here, that in case of anything the brake fluid doesn't neutralize or it doesn't cause problems with the paint. So all right, there you go. So it's right there. Go ahead and put that one there. Good. As you can see, I'm gonna clean it, just make sure everything's okay, and then we'll drive it later on a little bit, make sure there's nothing leaks. But so far it looks like it's sitting okay. It sits tight, nice and tight over there. So let's clean up all that here. So yeah. Okay, so we're good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all this other stuff back, and then that should take care of that here. So good, here we go, here we go. And this one just goes in, the tabs go in there, and then you just push it right here, so it goes there. So be gentle with this one here, you don't want to break anything here. These things are plastic, so that's what I did, and I'll show you how it looks like. Good, there you go. Awesome. So it lays flat. What happens is once you put that one there, it goes through and lays over there. So then make sure that I don't leave any screws or anything in the car that may go in and cause some problems. All right, so that is it, folks, for now. So the next thing here, I'll just take a quick second and a few minutes, I'll show you how much it cost me, what happened, and where I got the part from and what happened. So all right, so that is it for now, and I don't know how long it's gonna be, but for now at least the light is not coming on when I turn on the car, which is a good sign. All right, thanks. Hey folks, so again now I'm trying to show you how much it ended up costing me to fix the thing. I'm gonna give you a few things here. So from the dealer I paid $149.86. that is for the diagnostic test that they did, and because I wanted to make sure that my suspicions were correct, and what I suspected was that this level sensor was the problem and needs to be fixed. But before that, I didn't want to take any chances just in case there was more problem than I anticipated, such as the vacuum leak or anything else that wasn't happening or wasn't helping or was causing the issue, the light to come on. So that's how much I paid. But before that, I'm going to show you here. Then I ended up buying the part. I paid $60 for the part, so that comes to about $210. And before that, so this is what they did. They you can read there, they did the diagnostic test. They figured out that yeah, the level sensor was the problem, and they needed to fix that. But then what happened after that, that was not the issue. The issue is that the quote that they gave me to do the job. So the job itself, they told me that it was gonna cost me $798, and out of that, $134 was gonna be labor, and then the other one here was going to be $636 for the part itself. So I ended up buying the part as I showed you for $60, and the brake fluid is about $10. So that came about to 70 bucks, and 70 bucks, and then on top of that, I did it myself. It took me a little longer, as I showed you previous on the video, and that's because whoever sold me the part had rounded the bolt that secured the reservoir to the master cylinder. So that kind of took me long to try and get that off, because I had to drill it out and grind it and make sure that I didn't break anything and I didn't affect the sensor as well. So all in total, it came from $798, and then it cost me $70. That's the reservoir plus the fluid, and then if you add your labor, you can do that. But also a few things that we have to factor in: if you don't do this, or you don't repair your car that often, you may end up spending another probably $20 just to get the tools that you need, like the E8 that you really definitely need, and you probably need another ratchet, so that, and an extension. So on average, put yourself, like if you were to check my video and see what tools you need, put on average about another $30 or so for those tools that you're gonna need to do that, which you can walk down your parts store and buy them. So if you're good at this and you have a little time to spare and you want to save money, lots of money, then just budget for around 120 to 150 bucks. But still, even that still saves you about $640 from the dealer, depending on where you are in this country, because these prices can vary from one place to another. So that is it, guys. Now you see how I went through the whole process and how I was able to fix this car. It's been running okay so far. I've been driving it, dropped my kids to school, picked them up, and went to work, and it's been doing okay so far. I haven't seen anything, and I will inspect it in about a week or so to make sure that there's no any leak, or if I didn't secure the reservoir tightly, or if I missed something, then I'll probably check again to make sure that there's no leaks, no breakthrough leak and stuff like that. And then, as I said, I'll go ahead and flush the fluid, give on a brand new fluid here, because service B is coming up anyway. And when I do that, I'll do that, and then we'll be set. All right, in case of anything changes, I will update you, but for now, that's how much it was and that's how much it cost me. Thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate you guys. Take care.